it is time for episode 6, Isaiah 40:31. Are
That's
you
right.
ready?
No, never ready.
Never ready.
Because things happen in this one towards the end that are just no one is ready for.
No, this was a big one. There's a lot that goes down in this one episode. It's wild.
Really, there really is.
So I guess we best get into it.
Yep.
And how does Isaiah 40:31 start? It starts with a Shannon flashback. Finally, our girl's back. Season 2.
Girl,
Woo!
where
There
you
she is.
been? Dead. That's where she's been. Wow, that's depressing. Anyway,
Hey, listen, we got multiple Shannon scenes in season 1 and she was dead.
true. You're not wrong.
So it took us 6 episodes to get another Shannon moment, and it is quite a moment. We flip on back to Eastern Europe in the past, and it's a story told really not from Shannon's perspective, although Shannon is there. It's really a Mother Superior story back when she was Suzanne, the warrior nun. And in real time, she is sharing the story with Ava because it is totes warrior nun related, because it's this long anticipated story of when and how the Halo rejected Suzanne, which we were speculating about in season 1, and the writers and Simon give it to us here. So what happened was, at the time, Mother Superior, aka Suzanne, was 3 months into her reign as the warrior nun, and Shannon, in the vision flashbacks, simply an OCS member doing her thing, and they're infiltrating an armed fortress to extract the rest of the OCS and their Mother Superior from this building. And the two of them are kind of going back and forth and giving their version of how we should proceed with this. And the planning between them, I think, highlights how reckless Suzanne was as the warrior nun, because her method is very similar to Ava's method, where she's like, let's punch some pitches and keep punching and ask questions later. It's like, and then Shannon's like the rational strategist one, and she's like, it is 2 against 12. We cannot do that. There has to be a smarter way to do that. What you're proposing sounds like a great way for all of us to get killed. So this is very much like Ava Beatrice dynamics, which I found interesting. And Shannon tries to reason with Suzanne, but Suzanne is so entrenched in her like own overconfidence and abilities as the warrior nun and the unique power she has with the halo that she's like, yeah, I'm gonna do me. And basically energy pulses Shannon's chest, which like stuns / knocks her out. And then she's just like, cool, and proceeds to go in there alone and take on everyone because she's the warrior nun. Which,
What the fuck?
right.
Suzanne!
What the fuck? Yeah, it's just pure overconfidence and like, I'm the most powerful person in the room. I cannot possibly lose. I don't even need you, Shannon. It's crazy. But you kind of like see in this dynamic why everyone's like, Shannon was the best of us. Like even Suzanne, like Shannon clearly is a capable leader who's like, let's think about this kind of thing. And Suzanne's like, yeah, muscles. No. Also, a thing I'd like to point out from this flashback too, Mother Superior or Suzanne, has been the warrior nun for 3 months, and she knows a hell of a lot of stuff to do with the Halo in just 3 months. And Ava's been the warrior nun for how long, and she can do like 3 things. So it's kind of interesting that she figured out so many things with this energy soure.
Well,
In
she
a
was
short amount
probably
of time.
out there punching people left and right, and Ava's like being held back by Beatrice.
I mean, possibly. It must have been a hell of a busy 3 months for Mother Superior.
Right.
But I just find it really interesting because she shows off a lot of cool stuff that like we've never seen anyone do, and like presumably at that point the warrior nun before her's dead, so like it's kind of cool she knows all these things in such a short amount of time. So she wasn't a terrible warrior nun, but you can see her ego gets her into trouble, if you will. And I think that this is very much on purpose because to me this reads like a cautionary tale for Ava, because she's telling Ava the story and there's apparent similarities between the two of them, and it's like, hey Ava, this is what you could become if you like don't listen to your like sisters and stuff. So after that, Suzanne infiltrates the building. We get a kick-ass fight scene, which thank you Kuko and everybody put that together. It is amazing. And we also see the cool move that I love from her, that she uses the halo power as like a bulletproof shield, which like I
Yes.
hope during this conversation with Ava, she's like, "Okay, Ava, this is how you do that," because like you
Yeah,
should really
thank
teach her
you.
that.
That would be a really good thing to know. So
Yeah, if
she
you're
didn't have to,
constantly
like, phase through shit all the time.
right, exactly. There's a more efficient way, like just stop it instead of phasing. Yeah. I just please teach her stuff.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. Oh, and side note, so when I was watching this is I wish Kaitlynn was here. This is to us. I'm pretty sure at the beginning of this particular fight scene, the third guy she kills was actually Kuko because she slams his head into a wall. So I think this is the fight scene he was
I
in. Yeah.
have to go back and watch it
Yeah,
again.
I was like, I thought it was a fight scene at the end of this episode, but I think this is the one he was talking about. For those of you who don't know, Kuko was the stunt coordinator for all of Warrior Nun, and he told us in our interview that he was in one of the episodes and like Mother Superior like splashed his head into a wall, and I'm pretty sure it's this fight scene, and it's the third guy that she kills.
Okay.
All right, so she takes out 11 of the goons, including Kuko, and then makes her way into the cell that's holding all the sisters, and that's where she battles the 12th guy. And to paraphrase in the words of wise Beatrice, there are only 12 that you can see. So of course, like he's not the final boss, those are the people. So she like takes on this one guy and then all these other people and like drains the halo so much that she gets taken by surprise and a 13th guy shoots her mother superior square in the head through the cell. And she just like loses it because it's like the epitome of failure. Like she's like, I can take on the world by myself, and then like is brutally proven that you cannot. And as she's like breaking down and kind of like mourning briefly, the guy she was actually battling, the 12th guy, like slashes her in the face. And so not only is this how she lost the halo, this is also how she got the scar. That is the signature scar on her face. And while she's kind of like straight up losing, Shannon finally comes in because I guess she's not stunned anymore and is like, God damn it, Suzanne, and like went after her. She comes in, Shannon takes care of the rest of the goons, and then together they release the OCS captives. And she also like carries Suzanne into the cell. So Shannon is really the one that like makes this successful at the end, brings Suzanne into the cell, and Suzanne is so overwrought with just like pure grief that she's feeling and like failure and this like deep sense of unworthiness. She like screams to the heavens almost, and then the halo like jumps out of her body almost. And so like that's how she lost the halo. It's like this moment of like pure ego that leads to like her losing like one of her mother superior and just like being the ultimate failure and just like she could not take it essentially is what happened.
It melted out of her back. It
It's
was
gnarly.
so gnarly. If you're squeamish, do not watch that part, but excellent
Mhm.
acting and excellent effects, because that was it hurt me.
Yeah, and it had to hurt her too because she no longer has the halo to heal
Yeah,
her. So like she has to.
exactly.
So I think it's like metaphorically like the burden. Like I don't know, it's
Mhm.
just she's gonna actually feel that pain kind of thing.
Yep.
And
It sucks.
presumably too, this is the moment when Shannon becomes the warrior nun because Shannon's like next to her, so like implying how on earth did they get the halo in Shannon's back is my question. Because with Ava, we saw somebody had those tongs that like the halo doesn't burn, and that's how they like get it into the next host. How did they get it into Shannon's back? Did someone sacrifice a hand? Like what happened?
Either that or they they waited till later.
But how did did they have to be like guard it, go get the thing, and like come back?
Yeah. Like
Yeah,
they
just a
like
question.
found something to get the halo, like off the ground or whatever, and then they transported it back with everyone.
They, like, hung it on the divinium sword and just, like, very carefully because it went like that, and they very carefully take it back. I just have questions because many things pop
Dude,
to mind, and
when
it's,
they're
like,
all
either the super ghetto way to, like back alley medicine to get this into Shannon's back, or they had to do something ridiculous to transport it.
The only thing I could see in my head is, you know, those races where you have like an egg on a spoon?
Yes, that's what I mean. And like,
Exactly. Yeah. It's like all the way back to the OCS.
yeah, like it's like, Shannon, you're the next warrior now. This is your job. She's like, God damn
Yeah,
it.
they're like riding in a van. She's just
Just
got it
holding it.
going over the bumps.
And then it flies, and then everyone has to get out of the way. That was probably Shannon's like initiation as the warrior was probably a hot mess. And the whole time she's like, if
Yes.
Suzanne had just listened to me at the beginning of this whole thing, would have made it.
Exactly. Fucking Suzanne.
Fucking Suzanne, man.
She didn't even have a great warrior nun name. Like Shannon, that's a cool name.
You know,
Suzanne, the warrior nun?
The warrior nun. Do you know what? Mother Superior sounds way better than Suzanne.
Yes, I think you're on the right side of things.
Yeah.
Jeez.
The
Everyone
Halo was probably like, Suzanne? I can't do this. And it's like, I'm gonna leave. I can't.
No more.
No more.
Shannon, cool. Ava, cool.
Suzanne?
No.
You get 3 months tops. We're parting periods.
I love it. It's
just something to think about, guys. That's all I'm saying.
It is something to think about. And now I have so many strange things playing out in my mind. Thanks a lot, Theora. So back to Susanna's Mother Superior telling Ava the story. So they're sitting in Ava's room. And
at Jillian's place.
At Jillian's place. And she's telling her the story. And she says that she doesn't know what caused the Halo to reject her. If it was using it on Shannon or trying to shoulder everything alone. So basically, was it specifically her using the Halo against Shannon, or just her being a big hubristic jackwagon? And I think it was everything, because it all contributed. And
for sure.
What she's really impressing upon Ava is that no one can carry our burdens alone, and that she needs to work with everyone and not go rogue on her own. Foreshadowing.
I totally think this is the theme of season 2, because it's definitely foreshadowing for Ava, but it also relates to like Lilith basically going on it alone, and then Beatrice too, with her feelings, Camilla when she was kind of like isolating herself from the beginning. So I think this is a theme for like kind of like everybody's lesson they learn in one way, shape, or form, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. But so that's pretty much the moral of the story. We just sat through Suzanne's fable, and so you know, you're not alone. Don't try to do everything alone. You've got some badass people surrounding you. You know, teamwork beach.
Teamwork beach. Yeah, and I think the other piece, I totally agree with all of that. The other piece too, I think, to think about, or I think this just adds like the growing evidence that the Halo is sentient in some manner. Too.
Yes.
Because we don't get a definitive answer of like, why did it reject her? But like, we can see that there's kind of factors where it's almost responding to like morality or emotions or something in her at that time of like total anguish, that it was like, nope, I can't, this is not a viable host for whatever reason. So, because like when you first hear the story, like she's like, it reject, like you wonder, like, did she pull the thing from her back? But it seemed like it like escaped. So
I like that it escaped. It literally did.
It did.
She like, jumped out of there.
Hey, Suzanne.
Adios, Suzanne.
Adios, Suzanne. So from Suzanne's story, we go over to the lab where Ava is recapping the current situation for the remaining OCS forces and Michael and Jillian. And we can see right now, and she's like, hey, okay, here's where we're at, gang. We have a skeleton crew of people. Like, it's literally this room. The Pope is captured, and Adriel's followers are just growing. It's basically the worst pep talk ever. Good job, Ava.
Right?
Great job. Off to a good start. But she points out they have one advantage, really. they now know, because of last episode, where Adriel is going to be on March 23rd, which is the next day. And he plans to announce himself to the world. And I'm wondering, is it like March 23rd, was this Easter, like, and symbolic, like he has risen and the Pope legitimizing it? Maybe. I don't know. But of course, during this whole talk, there's 3 full seconds of gay staring between Ava and Beatrice, like in front of my OCS. It was great. And the plan going forward is Beatrice is going to create a strike team that's going to coordinate taking Adriel down and getting the Pope back. And they're just going to do their best to be ready for like whatever Adriel actually has planned. They just know where he's going to be. They don't really know what's going to actually go down. But B's in charge, so it'll probably be fine. And then B does 3 seconds of gay staring back to Ava, which great. But also it's kind of like this silent I trust you, which she kind of keeps doing this like reassuring thing to Ava throughout like this whole episode. So it like kind of starts here, but it's like a silent like I trust you with a mixture of gay staring, which is great.
I love that it's also like look at my little girl up there being the leader, just telling us everything. She's hot. That's how I interpreted that whole.
That's also going through her brain. It's part of the gay piece of that staring. All right, so at this point, Jillian has had time to read the paperwork she blindly co-signed and found loopholes in the cathedral's security that they can hack into. Great job. This is why reading is important, everyone. And she explains that the prayer energy combined with the architect technology is powering the arc at regular intervals. So, like, this is the thing that's actually, like, switching the halo off for Ava. So that's not great. And the arc, clearly, because it can do all of this, and Adriel went through all this trouble to dupe Jillian, create this technologically advanced cathedral to power the arc. Obviously, the arc seems to be really important to his plan. But at this point, nobody, including Michael, who's on the other realm with Rhea, know exactly why it's important. They just know he's putting all this energy in to create the arc, harness the prayers, do all that stuff. And B, the smartest person in the room, brings up a fabulous point where she's like, could Adriel's been here for 1,000 years, could he have built another one of these somewhere else on the planet? And like, think about it. He's put in a tremendous amount of effort to like power this thing that's like chilling in Jillian's lab. Could there be another one? It's a plausible question, but Jillian's like, I think that's unlikely because divinium is what powers the arc, and there's barely enough of it to make this one. It's very unlikely there's a second one because we saw in season 1 she was like scouring the globe with Christian. So unless there's like a Jurassic divinium skeleton that they found, it's probably this is the OG, this is the one, he needs this one. So the obvious conclusion from all of this is the most important thing is chilling in this lab. Adriel is going to come make a move to steal this thing because obviously. So they briefly discuss like, well, why does he need this? Does he like want to go home? And they're like, I don't know about that. He escaped as a fugitive. It's unlikely a fugitive wants to go home. And Michael's the one that explained this, and he sounds super bitter when he says it, almost like this is how Rhea feels about this guy that straight up betrayed her coming back. So it sounds like at this point, Adriel really has no home. He's kind of like in no man's land. So it seems like he's either trying to set up a home here where he can have ultimate power because he's like seen as a god here, which kind of makes sense if like the people from this other realm are as egotistical as human beings are, which probably. Have you heard the man talk about clothes?
Yeah,
like he probably has an ego,
does.
right?
The suit, for Christ's sake.
Yeah. Or either that, like he's literally just planning up to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna stay here where I'm a god, or he's like planning some coup on the other realm, like, and he needs the arc for some reason to do that. So, or Ava's theory is he's bringing someone here, like maybe. Dun dun dun. That's where we end that scene.
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? We don't know because the show got canceled.
You know what? He's probably good. He probably was trying to bring something here, but it was his wardrobe.
Yeah, he's more in favor of the modern wardrobe. I think he's tired of the robe.
Mm-hmm. Yep, he's tired of having to be an angel because you're
Yeah,
definitely not one.
definitely not. I think it's some combination of stuff that he was really trying
Yeah,
to do, but
absolutely.
from the way he yells at Rhea, like spoiler later, it sounds like he was actually trying to like set up a coup, like to go over there.
I think he wants both worlds and he wants to
Yeah,
combine them in some way.
I think he was perhaps trying to do what Rhea did to Lilith and like use the army he has here to send over there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And then he could be like this interdimensional god man.
Right, exactly. Then he'll have even what Rhea doesn't have, both of these
Hmm.
worlds kind of thing, and just go from
Exactly.
there. Yeah.
What a sasshole.
Yep.
Um, so speaking of that guy, guess what? He's about to get a phone call from Camilla's head. So,
Talk about texting God.
yep. Camilla calls up Adriel with some prayer and a little voice. And you can tell when he comes into the room because the fire that's in there goes poof or whatever, and then when he's like appearing, I'm guessing because of the cross, he's almost like it looks like he's there, but he's like an apparition. So he's thinking that this is a good thing for him, that she's come around and she's going to be on his side now. However, Camilla is sassy as fuck and pretty much tells him to fuck off.
As she should.
Exactly. And she wants to point out to him that communication is a two-way street. And she's in Adriel's head as well as him being in her head. And he's like, well, how's the fuck's that going to help you? And she's like, I don't know yet, but it will, basically. Like, it'll come in handy. I just know it. So she's basically just giving him a little something to think about and being like, you got in my head, I'm about to get in yours.
She's
This is
just
her fighting
ballsy, is
back,
all I'm
and
saying.
she is just ballsy, and she's like, "Nope, I will face you, and I will tell you," she's just telling him the truth. I can get in your head too.
Yeah, and I love how his like he tries to like use his like grooming tactics that keep working on
Mhm.
all these women, and it does not work on Camilla
No, not
at
at
all.
all.
Not
She
at
is
all.
Man,
She's
she
like,
passed go and
about that.
collected 200, like, fuck yous in the face to him on that one.
Literally. Yeah.
Uh,
Gotta love
love
Camilla.
her.
So we
Before you start the next scene, though, I
yes.
just have one thing to say. For
Mhm.
the next scene, no thank you. This scene made me incredibly uncomfortable the first time I watched it because I was still like, don't,
Head baiting.
het baiting and don't touch her. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I think this is the head baiting scene.
It is.
Yeah, there's a few. But anyway, so it's an Ava and Michael scene. That didn't give it away. uh, Ava is packing when Michael comes in for a chat. And this, I think the purpose of the scene was not to make us uncomfortable. I think part of it was to be like, oh, fuck. Will Ava trust not sail? But I think more importantly, this scene is really here to highlight the similarities between Michael and Ava, because there's actually quite a few. Michael essentially like grew up in the lab Jillian made to keep him alive because he was so like immunodeficient that air could kill him basically. And so because of his health condition, he was isolated from the world to stay alive basically. In a similar way that Ava was isolated in the orphanage after the car accident that killed her parents and left her paralyzed. So they both had this very myopic, isolated, small view of the world and were denied like a regular life that most kids were when they were growing up, basically because of this. And Michael confesses in this scene, he's like, when I came back here and I like started the Samaritans and was, doing all that stuff, like I was having fun for the first time in my life. Cause like this boy went from like being a lab rat, granted his mom loved him to like stay alive, like he had to going to the other realm where Rhea immediately grabs him and like turns him into a pawn. So like he has had autonomy never. Like this is the first time he has ever had autonomy. In the same way that when Ava got the halo and woke up in the morgue, she got autonomy for the very first time. And that's why she spent half of season one fighting her quote destiny because she's like, finally I'm free. Like, what the fuck, you know? So they're similar in that aspect. But the part that creeps us all out is when he starts saying, my time with you. And I was like, oh dear. Ava became all of us in the audience because her face is like, oh fuck, oh
Oh
fuck, oh
no.
no. I need to shut this shit down. And she's like, what do you mean?
I don't know what you mean. Don't
What do
touch
you
me or
mean?
take my hands or anything.
What do you mean? He's like, I was sent here, like, he's all business to his credit. He's like, I was sent here with a specific mission that ends in my death. But after meeting you, I got hopeful that, like, together we could defeat Adriel and live to fight another day. And after I saw Rhea's face in the body cam footage, there's no other way. And at this point, Ava is like, can you stop with the cryptic shit and just tell me what the fuck is going on for real? Then he holds her hands in front of the window and we get more uncomfortable. And this is the head baiting scene we all saw in the trailer. We're like, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. But to Ava's credit, she holds his hand and looks super confused because she thinks he's making a move, and she's like, how do I get out of this? But he again is all business, and he's like, listen, Rhea has this plan that I'm involved with that involves this divinium bomb that's going to kill Adriel. Since divinium's not of this world, not of this realm, it can theoretically kill someone who is not of this realm. It's the same way that the divinium kills wraith demons and the Taras demons, like kind of like that. And he was like, okay, that math adds up, but what the hell does any of that have to do with me? Like, what is this? And he's like, you're the fuse. Like, obviously. Like, the halo has to detonate the divinium because that's how that works. And this is when Ava starts freaking out because the detonate something means she has to be close to the bomb to be the fuse. And the divinium also, if it explodes, will overwhelm her ability to heal at the same time as Adriel's. And for a demonstration, see Shannon in episode 1 of Warrior Nun, because that's what happened to her and that's how she died. There was too much divinium. The halo couldn't heal her. She died. So after hearing this master plan from Brea, courtesy of Michael, Ava jumps into the bargaining stage of the 12 stages of grief, and she's arguing for the OG plan. She's like, listen, no, we're just going to put the crown on his head. We're going to lock this bitch in a box, like just like last time. It'll be great. It's going to be fine. Everybody lives. There is no fuse. There's no bomb. And Michael insists that Brea saw this happen. Therefore, it will happen. So there's like, again, it's like destiny. There's no escaping your destiny is basically what he's saying. And then we get to the thesis statement of the entire show that we broke down in our season 1 episodes. Michael says, because she's like, what is she, a god? Like, whatever. And he's like, God is just a name. You've been fed this twisted version of the truth that confuses everything. Rhea just is. She just is. It is what it is. Which, yeah, like, again, like, we're conflating this, like, you know, God versus Satan thing that's happening here. But he's like, no, these are just beings that exist. One happens to be in power, one happens to not be in power. It's just like humans. Like, humans are humans, and some have more power. Some are kings, some are peasants, and it's just like that's just the way it is. She's just the person who's in power. And Ava has the best like cheeky counter to this, where she says, "Well, she sounds like she sucks."
Yeah. Thank you, Ava. For
Which is
saying
100.
what everybody was thinking.
Yeah, it's 100% true. All the people from this realm just suck the way people suck. They have their own agendas. They're willing to use anyone and anything they can to meet their desired ends. And I love that the writers really took gods and put them on a human level. It's kind of like the Greek gods, whom I've always enjoyed and found to be super believable in terms of mythology because they're human. They act like humans, the very creatures the gods supposedly created. So yeah, it all tracks. And so I love that the writers use that play on religion here. It's very fun. But what is really fun about this scene is that the whole time Beatrice was eavesdropping behind a see-through curtain and like no one saw her, which I don't understand. You can see her.
Ava was focused on Ava was focused on of avoiding Michael's advances if he was trying to advance. B, being like, bitch, no, I'm not gonna blow up. We're not gonna sacrifice ourselves to blow up Adriel. And then, Michael was too focused on convincing Ava. And also Beatrice is a warrior ninja lady, so maybe she's
Stealthy. I'm just
stealthy.
surprised that Beatrice and her feels didn't jump past that curtain and
Yeah.
like accost Michael when he grabbed her
Mhm.
hand and then started in on all this suicide bomb stuff.
Yep. I mean, she gets at least she intervenes later. So,
Yes. And last part about this scene, I guess. Michael then, so Ava's like, okay, I'm the fuse. What's the bomb? And he's like, I'm the bomb. And this part I don't understand. He proves he's the bomb by like opening his shirt to show that he's glowing because like his body is basically divinium at this point. If Michael's chest glows when he's near the halo, why didn't he just take a quick peek under his shirt earlier in the season when he was with Ava? Because he says out loud, I've been wondering for a while if you were the warrior nun. It's like you couldn't just be like, yep, it's her.
the
Why is this coming up now?
good question. Good damn question. Plot hole.
That's
Hi, the fuck dog. Either I mean this oh.
this was all just head baiting. That's why it was here. But I'm like, Michael, there's no other part of him is divinium, and he can't just be like, oh look. The same way
I
Yaz
don't
had the cross, and she's like, oh, it's you.
I don't
You mean
like
to
it
tell me
here.
he's been training with Rhea for like 14 years and she didn't be like, listen, you're gonna glow when you're the halo. Like I feel like that had to happen. He had to know that. This is ridiculous.
Ugh.
Anyway, it is what it
TV,
is.
it's TV. Okay.
It's TV. After that, Ava and Michael argue a little bit more. Ava doesn't want them both to die for some interdimensional power grab, and Michael argues that this is the only way because Rhea said so. And Ava's like, fuck this shit, I'm out. And she storms out of there past Beatrice. And B lets her go, pauses to give a judgmental stare to Michael, as she should, before following after Ava. And I love that she pauses to give him a judgmental stare because the jealousy is still there for Beatrice. It's always going to be there.
Yeah.
Always.
It is because anything with Ava and Pretty Boys,
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's
Any
always
chance
gonna
she gets to like give a dig at him, she does.
Yeah. I appreciate it too because it's always in a Beatrice style, not a super it's not petty, it's just Beatrice-y.
It's just Beatrice being Beatrice.
Mhm. Gotta admire that.
Absolutely.
Okay. Let's go to the Pope. The Pope in a cage. What the fuck is this cage? It looks like a bus stop to me.
It's so random. It's like
so
in a
weird.
garden. It's so
Mhm.
weird.
So William, if you remember Betrayal Boy from, previous episode, is bringing some lunch to the Pope and they're going to have a little chit chat. And he basically lays it down for our mob boss, Pope, that his survival is going to depend on his level of devotion, meaning if you play our game, you'll survive. If not, you're going to die. So be our pawn or die. That's basically it. So we find out that back in the day, Adriel appeared to William and manipulated him in the same way that Adriel manipulated Michael as a little boy. And, you know, what did William have? Because our theory before was that Michael had divinium in him, and that's how he was. That could be how Adriel was finding him and talking to him.
I wonder if, like, again, the church. This is the Catholic Church in the Vatican, like in the bedseam script, where Ava's like, "Don't they have millions? They're sitting on millions
Mm-hmm.
of dollars." Like, yes. So like the Vatican is like the world's largest museum. So I have to imagine there are divinium artifacts in the Vatican somewhere that these higher ups, like cardinals, have access to like parts of the museum that like nobody else does. So I imagine he must have been similar to like Vincent, where they had to have probably been near relics,
Yeah.
or yeah, or divinium. I guess divinium is the only organic matter from the other realm we know about. Maybe there's others, we just don't know about it. But I assume he was near something that was of the other realm that lets him communicate.
Had to be, but
Yeah.
whatever. This guy is really, he is a absolute true believer
Yeah.
because Adriel promised him a place at his side in exchange for swearing fealty to him, which makes me want to throw up because, dude,
I mean,
how,
that's Christianity. It's a hierarchy.
just the way that the actor says it, he's so good at being so culty, and it
Yeah, he is.
hurts my soul. But the Pope is not, he's not displaying his cards really. He's just having a conversation during this whole thing and just getting a little more info out of William. But the other part that creeped me out in this was William kissing the Pope's cheek the way he did.
That was not the gay content I was looking for.
No, this is not, I'm not
This is
here
not
for
what I.
that. Thank you.
No, thank you. They're creepy.
That's not good. So yeah, we get to know what a little bit of William's backstory with Adriel and why he's such a stalwart right hand man. And we get to see the Pope. We get to learn more, like have reinforcement of the Pope's going to be the legitimizer of Adriel, and they're like play ball or else. So all that fun stuff.
I think the conversation they have here is interesting because it goes to show how this like faith has been crafted and twisted, like Michael was saying, and these creatures from this other realm can very easily manipulate people. Because if you think about it, the way he kind of got to this guy was that the Christians 100% believe Adriel because they've been told these stories of these, of what an angel looks like and like the miracles that Jesus did. And you're taught to like believe that without ever witnessing it happen. But here's this dude who looks like Jesus, who's like, look, I can actually do it in front of your eyes. All the things the Bible is saying. So it's not a stretch to be like, oh, like if he is somebody that actually believes in Christianity, to like see that happen, it's really hard to be like, no, that's a that's not Jesus. Like, because he's doing all the things. And like you could see,
Yeah,
he's like, look, I'm for real. Like, Jesus is supposed to come back and do all these things. Hello. Like, so a true believer would 100% be fooled by this because it's the playbook that they've been taught to like look for and like taught to blindly believe in it. But here's somebody actually doing all the things. And like, that's kind of what he says. He's like, well, here he is doing the things. Like, can you blame me? Like, obviously, like
exactly.
this is what I believe in. He's doing it. I'm going to follow him. So I thought that was really
Yep.
interesting. And for a sentient being like Adriel, it's like, yeah, I can easily manipulate you because you already believe in this. So like it makes sense on multiple levels, like why these two are like a buddy buddy.
Mhm. It does. It does. Um, he was the perfect person for Adriel to manipulate.
Yeah, because even in the last episode, oh crap, I forgot who he was. The big high up cardinal, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
in purple was like he's like the most prestigious cardinal there is. Like who he's questioning stuff like immediately because like which is interesting.
Yeah, it was the Archbishop of Canterbury.
There it is. Yeah. But anywho's you want to see. One other thing I totally love from the scene at the beginning, you pointed out the cell is creepy and weird. It is really weird looking. What's
Mm-hmm.
weirder to me is like when the dude comes in to see the Pope, he's got this silver platter of like wine and pastries for
Mm-hmm.
the Pope. So he's getting this like luxurious treatment in his weird cell. It's so funny. Like, what is going on?
It's such an Adriel thing to do, though.
It is. the Pope's getting top treatment for prisoners.
Well, yeah, like here's the wine from your cellars and
Right.
the food from your
Your
this is
kitchens.
yeah. Here, you can have some of it, prisoner.
That's
It's
hilarious.
an insult, man.
It is. That's probably what it is. That's such a good point. Speaking of Adriel, then we shoot over to
There's
Adriel.
too much of him in this episode.
There
Just kidding.
really is. He is with the not hot priest, and they are
Mm.
playing dress up so that Adriel can get his Jesus look down. This
Ever
is where
say
he got
that
the
again?
nickname. So he got the nickname Sladriel.
No. Oh, it hurts. Jeez, because now I'm imagining them both playing dress up. Anyway, go ahead.
I mean, they basically verbally discuss it, but we don't get to see it. I don't think I could
Yeah.
handle actual dress up, like the montage of them getting ready.
No.
Anyway, while they're doing girl talk, they share a glass of divine brandy, and the not hot priest is basically asking for like reassurance from Adriel without asking for it. So he's like going through his own like kind of crisis of faith and has been super conflicted since his encounter with Mother Superior, where she should have shot him and didn't. Adriel's like, it's gonna be fine. We're gonna make your dreams come true. Like, but better. Just imagine a world where you can reach God via text. Can you imagine it? I can't. Like, that would be so creepy to text God. Personally, I think that's weird.
What if God was one
Was
of us?
textable. Anyway, Adriel is like,
Sexting with God.
oh no, why would you say that? Send hate mail to Bree.
From God.
From God. Love God. Gross. Anywho, Adriel's like, listen, I'm gonna wave away all the troubles of the world. Everything's gonna be fine. And basically implying I'm God. And the head of priest is like, you're not God though. Like he's at the point, he's not quite at like the Cardinals level where he's like, well, Adriel's Jesus, he's God, obviously. The priest is like, you're not God, you're an angel at best. Like, and Adriel's like, but aren't I though? Like, look, I'm a supremely powerful being. I'm not from this world and I can save humanity. Isn't that what God is in your book?
Mm.
And Not Hot Priest is like, okay, that checks, but why are we relying on fear and violence as our tactic to achieve this great peace and save humanity? And I get what he's saying, but I'm not entirely sure why he's asking this. Like, I understand that he devotes Adriel's like as divine as he says, but like the Christian God uses the exact same playbook in the Bible to prove his
Mm-hmm.
power deserves to be worshipped. So if anything, this should make Adriel more believable to a true believer like Christian who eats this shit up. And I wonder if this is like a deeper comment by the writers about how religious like the not hot priest actually is, because he's like, this doesn't make sense even though this is what the Old Testament says. And it's weird and it doesn't track to me. But Adriel is not shooken by this. He's like, just trust me. I've been watching humans for like 1,000 years, and you people only seem to respond to two things: fear and money. Please see American politics for a real world example.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, compassion, that shit comes later. Don't worry. We're gonna make a better world. Like, he just keeps like giving the propaganda to him.
Yep.
And by the end of it, the Nahad priest doesn't seem to be buying like any of this. If anything, by the end of this conversation with Adriel, he looks more conflicted than he was at the start of the scene. And he should be, because he's the one that freed Adriel and made all of this even possible. And now he's having regrets, as he should. Like, maybe if you didn't go rogue and you weren't such an asshole, we wouldn't be here.
Maybe if you hadn't killed Shannon.
Thank you. We'd still have Shannon, and we wouldn't be in this mess.
Jeez. We'd also have confirmation of the relationship between Shannon and Shotgun Mary. Thank you very much.
Mhm. We still have Shotgun Mary.
Yeah, we saw Shotgun Mary. I have one thing to add to this scene. And it's
Do
not
it.
really about the scene. It's about the fact that Adriel and Vincent are on screen, and I literally had to stop myself from vacuuming my desk during this conversation. To like, I was like, no, we got to pay attention. But I want to vacuum. This is like, that's how much I despise these two. So, good
It's
job.
visceral. It's real.
Mm-hmm.
Valid.
You make me want to clean up trash.
Because you're trash.
Yes. So,
We are not Vincent apologists, if you haven't noticed.
no, we're not.
No, we're not. He doesn't deserve redemption.
We are team Mother Superior should have shot that bitch.
That you literally read my mind. Hydrate for whatever G's eyes in favor of that.
Pansexual. Jesus. All right. So, back to Jillian's. Mother Superior is giving a pep talk about the gravity of this mission. It's like the big one. This is for all of bananas, all right? So, be prepared for some bad PR because everybody thinks this guy's an angel and we're like agents of the church that are about to try to take him down. So, people are going to hate us. And you need to be prepared for that. Like, don't be surprised. Because we're pretty much the only people that know the truth about this shithead. And we're about to go against him. So, our actions will change the fabric of belief, is what she says. So, which is, I mean, everything has changed. Like, we've been on this train to change the fabric of belief for the 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
And this is supposed to be the culmination of that when they're going to expose Adriel as a fraud. Well, she hands it over to Ava, who's giving them the itinerary, which is adorable. Just saying.
That's what she does.
So, first of all, Adriel's going to start his international daytime talk show. That's what I'm calling it because it just makes the most sense to me. And it seems like very what he does anyway. Yaz is going to get in with her press credentials, and the other sisters are going to enter through a side door. Bee and the sisters are going to connect with disguised Samaritans inside, and Camilla will break into a server room and connect with Jillian with all the hackage. Ava is going to plant a signal relay on top of the cathedral that will allow Jillian to hack into the plague generators so they can do it just in time for the Pope, aka Duretti, to expose Adriel as a fraud. So he'll say, Adriel's a fraud, and then they'll make the plagues happen however they want to. And then everybody will be like, oh my God, so this was all technology all along. Anyway, this is the plan. So then Camilla's going to create a diversion, and Ava is going to put the crown on top of Adriel's head. Because she's going to float down like a little butterfly, like a little woodpecker without the wood. Just put that crown on his head. She's going to crown him. And then they're going to put Adriel in a box, bring him back to the Ark at Jillian's, and then send him right back on home with a do not return to sender label. And then they're going to destroy the Ark so that he can't come back through there.
And end the madness.
End the madness. However, he got there in the first place. So why
Without
couldn't
the
he come
Ark?
back?
Thank you. Thank you.
Which,
Thank you.
to me, says they have either a shit ton of arcs on the other side or some way to make a portal.
Right. And I thought about that and I was like, oh, maybe it's the halo because you had the halo the first time you did it. But that doesn't make sense either because by the time the halo was here and already in the first Warrior Nun, Rhea did the exact same thing and she didn't have the halo. So, like, there is another way for them to get here. 100% confirmed.
I mean, it feels good to be like, yeah, we're going to blow up the Ark so you can't get... But that's just not... It's too easy. It's all too easy.
It's all too...
It's Ava's giving us this plan, and if it's Ava, we know it's not going to go.
Absolutely not. No.
A plan.
It's gonna go left.
So that's my big question. Okay, but how did he get here in the first place, and can he not come back if they send him over there? I
I'm with
mean,
you.
yeah, he's got the crown on his head and all, but I mean, that's not going to last forever, right?
Somebody will take it off.
Somebody will find
We'll
him.
find him. Yeah, exactly.
Hopefully Rhea and just destroy him, but
Yeah, and then we're done for real. But actually, she still wants the halo. So it's not done until the
exactly.
halo gets back there, honestly.
Precisely. So
Yeah.
that's the plan.
But
And
that was
you know,
cute.
as plans go, it's cute, okay? It's nice.
It's
It's
cute.
clean if everything goes exactly how they want it to. But this is Warrior Nun, so that's not going to happen.
No.
But I do love that scene.
I love that scene. There's a couple things I wanted to point out in that scene. Very interesting that they're stuck in this like catch 22, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of situation. And I almost wonder if it had worked out and like on national TV, a group of nuns killed the next coming of Jesus and the Pope lived, which
Mm.
spoiler, that's not what happens. I wonder like how the Pope would have had to play that off. The OCS killing an angel, like PR wise. Like how does that actually play out? Does he condemn the OCS to like keep people believing? Does he stick with his narrative that he has now that he's a demon and this? I wonder how he actually like how does that actually play out?
I
Like
mean,
what's the most damage control version of the PR?
if they expose him, is are people
I mean, here's the deal. We just lived through a pandemic where half the people were like, this is not happening as it's happening. And then the other half are like, no, can you not see reality? So, like, I feel like you're going to, in a cult of people who are, Adriel has more numbers at this point. So, like, I don't think there's anything he could have done to expose him as a fraud. I think you still would have a group of people who'd be like, wow, they just killed Jesus. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like
yeah,
there's a group of people who are going to be like, nuns killed Jesus, women.
but
Like, what are you going to do, Pope? Like, I feel like he would have to, like, condemn them to, like, keep people in order.
that was also a problem I had with the plan in general, was because when they're like, oh, he's going to expose Adriel, I'm like, you don't expose somebody to true believers. Like, that's not
Right.
how that works.
It's not going to work. No, like, we were always going to have those people who just then it's a new cult of Adriel, even if he's not there, like just like
Not
Jesus.
only
Oh, they
that, you've
killed
got
him
all
just like
these
Jesus. Like,
fucking people that are possessed by demons right now.
I know what happens to them. They're still possessed by demons.
Yeah. So the OCS has to go around and beat the shit
Kill
out of
all the
every one of
demons.
them?
Jesus Christ, yeah. Ava's gonna be busy.
Yeah. Oof.
And also wanted by the cops. Like, I'm telling you,
Mhm.
like the PR is not good for the OCS.
No, it's not.
No, there's no way. They'd just be like,
This
women
is
did this.
this is where I'm like, okay, Ava, Beatrice, run away together. Never look back.
I mean, yes. Speaking of them, that line you brought up earlier, the our actions today will change the very fabric of belief itself. That line is followed by Avatrice gay staring,
Mhm.
which I think is foreshadowing what's about to go
Yep.
down with these two because of the mission.
Agree.
Because they are both in the aftermath of Ava almost dying the last time they went on what was supposed to be a low stakes mission, and now they're on the big high stakes mission with Adriel. And the act of performing this requires some degree of faith, like faith in themselves, faith in each other. And that faith in them together is something that is changed forevermore by the end of this episode. So I think that line is also referring to them.
I agree.
Alrighty, so after the plan, we head outside and everyone is getting ready because, like, let's go do the plan. All right, let's do it. And they're packing up the van, and not the erotic pastry one. That would have been hilarious if they came in
Yes,
that
it
van,
would.
but we didn't get the joy of seeing the tactical pink van, which would have been hilarious. RIP to that van. We learned that Mother Superior is going to be the one that stays behind with Jillian. They're going to be like on arc duty while everybody else is going to Adriel's big show. And Yasmin in this scene calls out Camilla for her mutual drooling over the Samaritan man named Todd, thus proving that Camilla is moving on from her harem and that Yaz is the best wing woman of all times. Because by the end of the scene, Camilla almost gets those digits from Todd.
Can I just say, I hate that his name is Todd. Why is his name Todd? we're in fucking Spain. Give him a better name. And B, I really thought you said breast wing woman.
Best wing woman. But I love that scene because he's like, "Hey, Camilla, you want to get a drink?" And
Yeah,
she's
and
like,
she's like, dude, I'm a nun.
I'm a nun." Which, like, girl, that don't mean a damn thing in this
Yeah,
order.
you can still
You
get a
were.
drink.
She was just calling out Beatrice for being
Yeah.
romantically in love with Ava. Like, you were just like, you've watched Mary and Shannon. Obviously, being a nun in the OCS don't mean a damn thing.
Well, yeah, but it's okay if it's gay.
But, like, rebound from your harem. It's fine, Camilla. No one's judging you.
But God,
Personally, one of the reasons I really want a season 3 is I really want to see Camilla and Yasmin develop into BFFs because there's so much potential there, you
oh
know?
my God, yes. They're so cute
So
when
much.
Yasmin is
I love
just like
them.
really into this whole idea.
She's like, I'm the ship captain for everyone.
Exactly.
And so as that happens, Ava cuts across the frame and we follow her striding across whatever this area is until Michael stops her to try and get her to commit back to the Reyes suicide plan. He's like, "Yeah, that was great. What you said in there, but we need to do this plan because Reyes said so. Like, and she's my mommy. I do what she says."
Ugh.
And immediately Ava's like, she shuts this shit down. And she's like, "Dude, I've thought about it. And your plan straight up is the worst. So we're gonna do my plan, which worked in the past, so yours has not. And that involves neither of us dying. Let's do that instead." And Michael starts like pontificating. He's like, "Well, it's destiny. We can't run from it." And at this point, like they were like walking. They stopped moving with Beatrice, who is not so subtly eavesdropping on this entire conversation because jealousy and protective girlfriend mode.
Uh-huh.
And Ava, once they stop moving, she's like, "Listen, dude, what I said in there is true. What Mother Superior was saying. Like, we're gonna change the world today. Like, that is what it is. Do we really want to start this new world with a double suicide? Like, that is the worst PR I've ever heard. Like, how is that a good way to do this?" And she thinks she's done with the conversation and tries to like physically leave, but Michael grabs her arm
Uh-uh.
and ooh.
Uh-uh.
Mm. Now, Michael must be blind or deeply obtuse to have laid a hand on Ava because in 0.0000001 seconds later, here comes Beatrice staring dividium daggers into him while removing that grubby paw off of Ava. Boy, she was there the whole damn time. What did you think was going to happen? And like, hydrate for lesbian Jesus, who sponsored this girlfriend mode Beatrice moment.
She's about to kill his ass.
Like,
You
then
just you're like he's lucky he came out of that without a broken
no,
hand slash
seriously,
wrist.
she should have punched him. I'm surprised she didn't punch him.
Uh-huh.
Anyway, I guess we need all the fighters we can get in our like 5-man crew.
Uh-huh.
So, whatever. We all congregate with all of our limbs and no bruises to the archway that exits this courtyard. And Ava and Beatrice have this moment, like a few seconds, where they just like, before everyone else catches up, where Ava just like looks really lost in thought while Beatrice is looking at Ava. And Beatrice says all she gets out is Ava, like as if to check in with her, but Ava like immediately brushes it off and she's like, "I'm fine." And I think the reason we have this little lingering moment is because this was like Ava's having a crisis of faith moment. Like she's very like in her head, which is not like Ava. And she's almost like wavering, like maybe doubting the plan a little bit after like Michael comes in being like, "It's the only way. It's plan B, really. Like it should be plan A because Rhea said so." And I think she's kind of like doubting not the plan, but really herself and doubting that, the halo is going to pull through long enough so that she can actually do this because that's been like getting harder and harder for her to control. And I think she's a little afraid that she's not going to be able to like pull through for the team, basically. And I think Beatrice saying her name is kind of like that tether back to reality, like the grounding force that Beatrice often is for Ava. And it gets her to focus. It gets her to be like, "I'm fine. Like, let's do it." So I think it's a little small moment, but I think it was super significant going into this mission, where the two of them are at, and kind of like how Ava feels about this mission, since it's going to change the world. Kind of a big deal, you know?
A little bit.
A little bit. And we go to change the world in style and end the scene with them slow walking, looking hot as fuck in their outfits. And that's where we end things, as we should.
Mhm. I was very satisfied with that ending of that scene. Let's all applaud for that. And
Hydrate for that moment.
yep, here we go. Listen.
I'm listening.
They gonna roll up to the mega church because that's what this is.
Yes.
The mega church.
That is 100% what this is, which is wild because it's like, hey, Europe, we have this shit in America now.
Yeah.
Help us.
I'm like, are they in Texas?
Right.
So we've got protesters outside, I guess. Like
Just
it looks
like a
like
mega church.
protesters, just like a mega church.
Kidding.
And then we got Ava is walking up all sassy in her Adriel follower cloak because they've all got these cloaks that the Adriel bitches are wearing that are
The
super
Jedi robes.
dramatic. The Jedi robes that are super dramatic and unnecessary.
It's totally unnecessary. So they're okay. It looks like tactical gear if you're going to be out in the desert in the sun.
Yeah.
And they're inside. It doesn't make any sense.
They look like they're out of a they look like they came from The Witcher or something.
They look like Jedi. Yeah, they're like, they don't belong in any way, shape, or form in any of this. It's so weird.
This is some high fantasy shit. But anyway.
I'm telling you, Sladriel is all about his
Mhm.
wardrobes and the wardrobes of
is.
his employees.
You're not wrong.
Mm.
So Ava walks up super sassy and tells the the guard that there's been a change. And she says like gag order and then takes him out. I'm like, what the fuck, Ava?
You know 100% that was not planned at all. He was like, fuck, I gotta do something.
Yeah.
That's all she
She's
came up
just
with
like,
on the spot.
yeah, really. And I
hilarious.
just like in my head, I see Beatrice rolling her eyes.
Yeah, she's like,
But
God damn it. I should have wrote that shit down for her.
yeah. And then oh my god. Anyway, not even I would make that joke. Just saying, Camilla gets them in with her fancy cell phone.
Oh yeah.
Like decoder ring technology that
Technology.
cracks the passcode. And then we get a shot of Yasmin approaching the main doors and getting her badge scanned before entering the megachurch press conference / daytime talk show.
Literally.
Exactly.
Quite the event, honestly. Like,
Yeah,
what is this?
it's almost like a WWE match.
I was gonna say also sporting event because it's just the crowd, the lights.
It's so dramatic, and that's why I said
It's
WWE.
Sladriel. Yeah.
Sladriel. Sladriel's boxing ring.
Literally.
So then we have the undercover nuns splitting up. B checks in with Ava, and she says the really cute thing, well then, warrior nun, see you on the other side. Hey girl. It's like a little flirt. It's a little flirting.
I love it. I think that's really sweet, that moment where
So
Beatrice
sweet.
she takes a moment to check in with Ava, like, again, because I think she really senses Ava's having
She
doubts
does.
about this and like needs the reassurance.
Yep,
Because
I
like
agree.
it just keeps happening. Like I think that's
I think that she reads Ava Ava's not Ava's pretty much an open book in a lot of ways, but I do think that Beatrice reads her better than anyone, obviously, as she would. So she can, I mean, they slept in the same bed together for how long?
Yeah, it's 2 months, and Beatrice is highly perceptive to begin with, and, like,
Mhm.
in season 1, when Ava first showed up, like, Beatrice was the, like, little wallflower one that sat there and just watched Ava and, like, figured her out immediately because she's perceptive and she's good at
And
reading people, so, yeah, I
crushed
think
on
she
her, but whatever.
yeah, but I think, like, she understands that, like, Ava is gonna do everything she can to look like she's fine and be the leader and get stuff done, but she's having
Yeah,
some real doubts
she is.
about herself.
The last part of this section is Camilla getting in position in the server room, which, as always, if you're
Oh
like
my God.
going to the server room, they go into this closed-in space that's red.
I
It's got
know.
red lights.
Like, I know. Why
This is
does the
nothing like
server
the
room
server rooms that I've been in.
why does the server room look like a dark room? Like,
I
have you like
don't know.
if those listening may have, I mean, you may have never been in one or even know what the heck that is. But back in the day when like cameras recorded on film, like with silver and stuff like that, you'd have to develop them in a room that had no light, other because the light
Mm-hmm.
ruins it. So they're called dark rooms, and the only light that doesn't destroy the unchemicalized processed film is red light. So like dark rooms look like that. So like why does it have to look like that? It's just a server room. You can have regular
Yeah.
lights and I
Camilla's
think that
going to
was
develop
Adriel.
some pictures.
Right. Like there's no reason it needs to look like that other than Adriel's like, I want red lights in here. And Christian's like,
Ah,
but why, my master, would we need this? And he's like, because I said so. Like, there's no reason for this other than being dramatic, is my point.
yeah, they make my skin look nice if I
Right.
have
It
to
serves
be
no
in
function.
here.
It's just real dramatic. It's just, I like it. Just do it.
Just do it. It's the red light
Just do it.
district.
Yeah. Respect the red light district.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, so that's pretty much that.
So we go while that's all happening, we shoot over to the lab where Mother Superior and Jillian are like Camilla calls them to be like, I'm in, and then we shoot over to the other end of the call where they're receiving it, and they're like, great job, Camilla. Now we just need Ava to do her thing and place the bug on the roof so we can hack into the mainframe or whatever and play around with the plague generator. So then we cut to the roof of the creepy church where Ava is trying to phase up to get into position to like put the bug in. Well, actually, she's just trying to get on the roof and she gets stuck literally at her waist halfway when the halo switches off. And then we get a voiceover. And it's been so long, I almost forgot that voiceovers were a part of the show.
And yet we're being haunted.
It was very haunting for someone who doesn't like the voiceovers. And, you know, and I think it kind of serves a purpose. She could have said this stuff out loud, but whatever, it doesn't matter. The point is that, like, I think this is what Ava was afraid of happening. I think this is what Beatrice was picking up on, that the halo was going to turn off and Ava was going to fail because of it. And I wonder if the purpose of this is not only to like freak out Ava, but to also like reinforce doubt that like this mission can go awry just like the last one did and end very, very badly. Which is also terrible for Ava, who's probably traumatized. So
Yeah, for
she's
sure.
internally bargaining with the Halo via these voiceovers until it switches back on and it lets her like phase fully onto the roof. And then meanwhile, below in the church, the OCS and the Samaritans are all kind of like getting in position, waiting for this rockin' Adriel show to start. And that's basically
Absolutely.
it. Yeah.
So here's an unfortunate thing we're gonna do is go back to we're gonna do the Pope and the Not Hot Priest.
Your other favorite
Yeah, my other
duo.
favorite duo.
Other favorite duo.
This is my favorite singing group, the Pope and the Not Hot Priest.
Ooh.
So Vincent approaches the Pope and he says that the Holy Father doesn't seem impressed with the megachurch. I'm like, have you seen where he lives? You have. You've been there.
Yeah, nothing is as impressive as your church that's its own country.
Exactly. Like his is a country, Vincent.
Yeah,
You're
I
not
don't
hot.
care.
Go away.
I don't care what target you have hollowed out and made your megachurch. It is not the Vatican, bitch.
Yeah, exactly. This strip mall is not the Vatican.
For those of you that don't live in America or the South, I guess I didn't know what on earth. This is a side tangent, but I didn't know what on earth a megachurch was until I moved to like the South of the United States because
Mhm.
we did not have these in the North. we had normal churches and lots of Catholics, and basically a megachurch is when they buy out like giant built like the size of like department stores and make them into churches, which is wild. So they're like
Yeah.
literally humongous, like bigger than this thing that they're in the show.
Yeah. So
It's
they'll
crazy.
just build this.
Yeah,
They'll either build it or acquire a
co-opt.
building.
Yeah,
But so
tax
thousands and
free.
thousands of people go to church in this church every Sunday, and that's why it's called a mega church. So that's what we're referencing.
Yeah, it's
Um,
wild.
uh, and they're televised, so that also is why we're referencing it.
Yeah.
Um, so the Pope says, I'm just not impressed with you, most of all. So another dig at the not hot priest.
The Pope is fully off his rope in this scene.
Yeah,
He's
he
just like
is.
reading the priest to filth, and I love
He
it.
really is. I'm down for that. Like, I'm with Duretti in this scene, so
It's like
um
it's a thing that everybody wants to do. Like when you're leaving a job you hated and you can just tell off your boss with no
mhm.
consequences. That's the energy of this scene where Duretti's like, I have no fucks anymore, and just like tells him everything he wants to tell him. It's hilarious.
I left all my garden of fucks back in my other country.
Right.
So basically they have this conversation and he's bringing up Vincent's past as a drunk and a criminal, and he's like, I gave you a chance. You're
Mhm.
basically a jackass and you're horrible and you're not a real I basically think he's like telling you're not a real Christian, you never were, like you're
Right.
just this drunk that that had a chance and now you fucked it up. And by the way, in the background of this conversation, the groundwork is being laid by none other than the pastor himself, the megachurch pastor himself, uh, that introducing the Pope. So this is going on in the background of this conversation, and I almost called him Christian. Vincent is like,
I
I
mean,
mean, they're
I mean,
they're somewhat similar, right?
in terms of how much we hate them, yes.
Yes. So he says, "What choice does one have when one hears the voice of God?" Like, bruh. Not even you think that Adriel's
I
God anymore, so why do
right?
you feel the need to say
Why?
that?
No one's listening to this conversation. Like, yeah, why are you
Yeah.
lying in this scene?
Why do you feel the need to do that to the Pope?
I don't
And
know. It's weird.
and then the Pope is announced, and this is the best burn of all time as far as the Pope is concerned. So the Pope says, do you know how I know Adriel isn't God? And not hot priest is like, "Yeah, no," and then he's like, because he chose to speak to you. Oh!
He dropped his rope.
Wow.
That's the holy mic drop.
The holy mic drop, and he
I
goes
love
off
it.
to
I
be
love it.
Adriel's pawn. That was the only good scene with involving the men, in my
I
opinion.
know. It's just them fighting with each other. Oh, I love it so much because the Pope maketh some good points here.
Hmm.
And as we just saw in the other scene with the Nahad priest, he's the one questioning Adriel to begin with. So it's weird that he's standing his ground here when the Pope's like, "You're full of
Yeah,
shit, man." He's full of shit.
I
Come
guess
on
he's
now, own
like
it. Own it, you drunk
hanging
bitch.
on to his his last vestiges of his belief or something, but
I
whatever.
guess. Or like
Um,
it's a way for because he's doing this terrible thing where he knows the Pope is probably going to be harmed, and he's like
mhm,
justifying it by being like, "But he's
yeah.
God or whatever."
Yeah, it's God. What do you do if God tells you stuff? You just do what he says.
You do what he says. I
It's
don't know. Christianity.
Christianity in a cult. So the Pope welcomes the faithful and starts his speech. And at first, it sounds like he's going to embrace Adriel and be like, "This is the second coming,
Right.
and I am the Pope, so believe it." And that's how he starts.
Yep. And that's what Adriel basically wants.
Mm-hmm.
And while the Pope is pontificating, Ava is on the roof trying to harness the halo long enough to place Jillian's super important hacker box on top of one of the columns, ramparts, whatever those things are. And she like hovers enough to get the box on top, but doesn't have time to like press the button to activate. I don't know why it needs a button to activate, but apparently it does. And before she can turn it on, the halo switches off and she like falls to the lower level and like stills and like gets on her back. And it's acting almost like she's paralyzed again.
Mm-hmm.
And at that point, she closes her eyes, clenches her fists, and her breathing starts quickening like she's panicking. And I imagine that being paralyzed is something that Ava is still afraid of because that means being trapped, being alone, helpless. And now that's confounded with the fact that if she's paralyzed and the halo is turned off, she can't pull through for her friends and like will risk failing for all of humanity. No big deal, right? So it's a terrifying moment for Ava, which her voiceover confirms. And who comes along to kick her while she's down? Lilith, the factor nobody thought about because nobody fucking thinks about Lilith in this show. So, once again, this is all because the OCS never thinks about Sister Lilith, and here she is to fuck some shit up.
Mm-hmm. I mean, listen. I don't blame Lilith for wanting to fuck shit up. It's just I wish she hadn't done it, with Adriel.
Yeah, me too.
So, back to the Pope, but this time with Adriel. He introduces Adriel as a living, breathing angel, and we're all like, bullshit. And Duretti's, he's talking. He's about to make his move and say, but the big but he's going to drop right in the middle of the room. Ava's not in place yet, or Ava hasn't activated the hacker box yet. So we're running out of time, and he can't really, he's not in the know about this, so he can't stall or anything. So he's just going to say his thing, and then they're going to be kind of screwed because shit's not going to happen.
Yep. Is that the whole scene?
That's the whole scene.
Okay. I blacked out during that scene and had no notes, so I forgot where it ended. Thank you.
Indeed.
All right, so while that's all happening, where is Ava? Ava is being manhandled on the roof by Lilith, and it's not as fun as it sounds. And basically, Lilith kind of like the way the Pope was like, "Fuck you, not hot priest." Like Lilith does. Here are all my feelings about you. Lilith does the same thing to Ava because Lilith still has the grudge about Ava that she's been carrying since season 1, where like in her eyes, Ava took the halo from her and denied her chance to be the warrior nun, which she was bred for, in her mind. And I find this whole thing interesting too when Lilith like grabs Ava to kind of start like verbally abusing her essentially. She says the line, "I feel no power from you at all." And this is when Ava's like kind of still paralyzed from the halo and the halo's like kind of like rebooting. And I wonder, and I find that very interesting. And I wonder, like, if Lilith, kind of like the Taras demons, they can sense the Halo's power.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if, like, how she got the ability to sense the power of the Halo, if that's something that Rhea's blood gives her, or was that something that, like, Adriel gifted her when she could, quote, see the truth? I'm not really sure. I think maybe Rhea's blood, because Rhea created the Taras demons, and that would make sense that whatever she infused them with can like track that thing down, because that is the main thing she's trying to get besides the little bitch that betrayed her, which is Adriel. Regardless, Ava's super confused by all of this. She's like, "What are you even doing here, Lilith? I've thought about you in months. What's going on?" And Lilith at this point drops her dirty little secret that she's been hanging out with Adriel because nobody gives a shit about her, and she's got her answers from him. And she's done being a pawn from the OCS. She has seen the truth. She's seen the light. She's a strong, independent dragon woman now. She don't need no OCS.
Wow.
Afterwards, they get into a scuffle in which Lilith kicks Ava down some stairs, and thus gaining the high ground, which I learned from Star Wars is never a good thing. And while Ava is left in that precarious situation, we rudely cut away, and the Pope is poping on about the arrival of the divine being we've all been waiting for, and the crowd's like getting all ready and amped up, and that's the end of that.
Mhm. Yep. So back to Ava and Lilith. And Lilith is doing her own pontificating at this point, telling Ava that she's asked herself, why Ava, for the longest time. And I'm like, we know, girl.
Yeah, we
Like,
know.
so
Get some
obvious.
therapy.
Seriously, instead of going to Adriel and like making out with him, you should have gone to a therapist.
Correct.
She's like, was it divine intervention? Do you have more inner strength than me? But she says now she sees Ava clearly. I don't think so, bitch.
Yeah.
So back to the Pope, who's pumping Adriel up still until he's not, because he turns on a dime and says, or so I thought. And then that was the cue for Jillian, but Ava's still fighting Lilith, so the device isn't activated, and we're back to Lilith, who headbutts, who's like, you're weak, and headbutts Ava, and I'm like, you're projecting. So,
This is her therapy session.
yes, she is having therapy by beating the shit out of Ava, which is not cool
Absolutely.
in my book. I mean, at
No.
least do it with a foam bat. I don't know. Then we're back to the Pope, who calls Adriel a fraud, and then Christian signals Adriel and is like, should I cut the feed? But Adriel's like, no, we're gonna see how this plays out. Cause he's like, I know that they had to have had like a little plan, so we're gonna see what happens. We go back and forth between the hot girls fighting and the Pope explaining about the plagues being manufactured. Jillian is freaking out, saying, like, we're out of time. What the hell? And then Lilith gets her Instagrow demon claws going and slashes Ava's arm and says that she's free after wanting the halo for so long. Girl, no, you're not. You may not like actively want the halo anymore, but you're still yearning for the belonging and the purpose. So,
Yes.
no.
Yes.
Adriel did not give you that. He conned your ass.
Yes.
Anyway, Ava blasts Lilith away with the halo power because it's working again. And then she floats back up and turns on the hacker device. The end.
Well, in this scene, Lilith got her freedom. Her freedom to get
Yeah,
the fuck out. And Ava,
to get yeeted
yeah,
like
yeeted
an
her out
empty
of the
can down the
stadium.
hallway.
Okay, well, it's not just that. She like blasts her into like a column. Like her
Yeah.
back hits this column and she like falls. Like it was a nasty halo blast.
It's cool. She got demon powers now.
She a dragon. It's all right.
Yeah, she a dragon.
See our reaction video to know what the hell we're talking about. All right. So after Ava switches on the device, Jillian can get to work with hacking, which seems super exciting. And while that's happening, the Pope tries to call the locusts via Jillian's invention, but literally nothing happens for an uncomfortable amount of time. Like if I was in these stands, I'd be like, do I have time to go to the bathroom to get a drink? Like, is anything gonna happen? Like, what's going on?
Are there hot dogs here? Can I get some nachos?
Should we leave and beat the traffic? I don't know.
Exactly.
And the reason we're all uncomfortable and nothing's happening and Adriel's goons are acting all chill is because they knew this would happen all along and they were essentially using this display of no power from the Pope as a power grab to visually show the world on live television that the Pope and the Catholic Church, by extension, are the frauds and can't do the miracles because they saw Adriel do it. And he jumps on this and he's like, see how he lies to protect his power. And basically, he makes the case that the church has been telling the masses to worship them without any payoff, like the payoff he's been giving them. He's like, they tell you all these stories about like miracles, but when's the last time you saw a miracle? I just cured a bunch of people last week. So, and he's like, and these bitches have the audacity to ask you for money Because again, fear and money. That's what he's playing on. He told the not hot priest earlier, and he's like, they want your money, they keep you scared, but I don't want anything from you. I'm not like them. Like this is like his groomer tactics. He's like, I just came from heaven to help you out of the kindness of my little angel heart. The Pope tries to make a counter argument here, but unfortunately for him, Christian flips a switch to activate the prayer energy and funnel it through the metal cross directly above the Pope, frying him into a toasty crisp. Yikes. Yikes.
Who ordered the toasty Pope? Because don't.
Just send that back.
Send that back to the kitchen, please.
I'd rather have that
high heaven.
I'd rather have that tray of wine and cheese that other dude was. The Pope was getting in the cell. Nobody asked for this shit.
Can't believe you just slept on my pun.
Wait, what?
I said I bet that stank to high heaven.
Oh, damn it. Yeah, I didn't like
that. No, totally would go with the wine and cheese plate as well, not the toasty Pope.
Toasty Pope.
And it's not my ideal dish at all. So we get a little shock and awe from Jillian and Mother Superior about the Pope being fried in front of their eyes. But we're not the only ones, that are shocked by this, of course. Everybody else is like, the fuck, dog? Toasty
Murder.
Pope. Look, murder from God. God said Pope bad.
Smite the Pope.
Smited the Pope-a-lope. Pope's not on his rope anymore. Pope's dead.
He is a dead bitch.
Crispy critter. The lights go out because that's what happens when chaos reigns in any kind of scene.
Yes.
Adriel's people, we shoot to Adriel's people arriving at Jillian's gate, and Camilla calls for Adriel, or makes a phone call to Adriel in her head. It's not as insane as it sounds. Just go with it.
Toad's normal. It's fine.
Toad's normal. So Adriel takes off his cloak to reveal his angelic athletic wear, which I think he's going to do as a line, probably in Target.
Sladriel.
Now at Target. And then he's like, here come the assassins. And it's like, you are the most dramatic bitch ever. Jeez. Camilla is like, got her gun, her little baby, her beautiful gun, and she's pointing it at him, and she's like, listen, I know I can't assassinate you, but I can distract you with my big gun.
Can we just take a moment to appreciate the fact that Camilla created this vision, and in her vision brings her machine gun.
Yes.
Her baby. That is such a Camilla thing to do. So I love that she's the one conjuring this vision and is like, I'm going to bring my machine gun.
Exactly. This is my... it has a name. You know she's named it. So
obviously,
we just don't know what it is.
You don't.
Here's my gun. I'm going to distract your ass.
There's been a egregious lack of Camilla and her machine gun this season.
That's the real ship.
Yeah.
That's the real ship.
It is. It's the real ship. Fuck Todd who? Is Todd the name of the machine gun?
She would never name her machine gun Todd. It's got a woman's name. So all the crew throw off their cloaks, their like dumb, dramatic Adriel cloaks, and start fighting. Adriel sees Beatrice, like he clocks her, and then Vincent is like shocked by all this apparently, because I don't think he's in the inner circle anymore.
Yeah, I guess.
Because he's not being Christian level devoted. Christian as in the dude, not the dude.
Yes.
So Ava comes down from above with the crown and nearly gets it on Adriel's head before Lilith crown blocks her by flying in with her little dragon ass and takes Ava out.
And then Ava has one of my favorite lines in the episode where she's like, "Oh, come on, you got
You
wings
got wings
now?"
now? It was so good.
It's so funny.
Oh, I love it.
It's like, no one's been keeping up with Lilith.
Yeah. It's like, Jesus Christ, all I've got is a halo that keeps stopping in the middle
Right.
of me doing things, and you've got fucking wings and claws? Michael Michael approaches Adriel and they have their little reunion of whatever the
Whatever.
Yaya sisterhood. And he knives Adriel in the carotid and gets him on the floor. And that's when dun 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 dun. Next.
So meanwhile, yeah, I got nothing else on that scene. Meanwhile, there's a CCTV footage that shows Adriel's goons are breaking into Jillian's place as expected to get the Ark. So Mother Superior's like, I got this. And before she can like take a full step to like actually go take care of this, Jillian stops her and she's like, listen, if things go left, you have to destroy the Ark. Here's a detonator. Because nothing can go wrong with this plan. And then the goons cut the power as they like part ways, leaving like Jillian essentially on like the office side of the build, like the Ark, and then the Ark is in this bulletproof glass where Mother Superior is. So Mother Superior has access to get in and out, and so do the goons, I guess. I don't know what that side of the building is that Jillian's stuck on. Like, can't you go around? I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's kind of weird. But Jillian apparently has to stay has to stay in this like office that's watching the Ark helplessly from the glass because drama. And then Mother Superior's like, cool. So she leaves with the detonator to go take care of the goons.
Yes, joy. Um so Michael has Adriel down like we saw before after he's cut his carotid and dude's like bleeding out, but that's not going to kill him. And so Michael calls to Ava saying they'll never get another chance, and he's holding his hand out. And I'm like, dude, stop trying to touch her hand. This is like, get the fuck out. Like,
Now is
stop.
not the time.
It's not the time for you to shoot your shot. Jillian is watching this on the whole, like, the screen of mega churchness TV. And I think she's kind of like sussing out that something's going on with Michael. And then Ava goes to grasp his hand so that they can detonate the divinium. But B's like, hell to the no! And tackles Ava out of the way so that she can't connect with Michael. And everyone said hallelujah. But then we see Vincent get knocked down in the scuffle and gets a hold of the crown of thorns. And Ava sees him, because that's what Ava was trying to get to before Michael distracted her with his stupidity. Ava sees Vincent with the crown and then goes after him, but B intercepts her and says, hey, we need to get out of here. And then Adriel recovers and throws Michael off.
Yeah, so I want to go back to Beatrice interfering with the suicide bomb plan because there's a shot of just Beatrice's face when she put together what they're trying to do, and it's just this like look of pure horror on her face.
Mm-hmm.
That's absolutely heartbreaking. And I think this is a moment that haunts Beatrice later because you can see it clear as day on her face that like her feelings in this moment are overriding all logic. And she acts without thinking to
Mm-hmm.
save Ava from the suicide bomb.
Yep.
Because logically, if Ava and Michael kill Adriel, this all ends. They save humanity, which was kind of the goal. But Beatrice stops that from happening. The other part that's interesting is that prior to this moment, multiple times throughout this episode, we kept pointing out the moments where Beatrice was reassuring Ava that, like, you got this. Like, you got this, Ava. We got this. Everything's going to be fine. And with the knowledge from eavesdropping that Michael had this whole other plan that he presented to Ava, which is the suicide bomb plan, But Ava was like resistant towards this plan. So I think that after she kind of eavesdropped, Beatrice was very much keeping a close eye on Ava the entire time, partially because of the PTSD from their last mission, where everything went sideways, and it ended up with her holding Ava's dead body. And I think the other piece is, like you mentioned earlier, is that Beatrice just knows Ava so well. She knows that if Ava gets desperate enough, she will go through with the suicide plan to save everybody else. She'll sacrifice herself to save the world. And logically, Beatrice, the perfect OCS agent, knows this sacrifice for the greater good makes sense. But Beatrice, the woman who's hopelessly in love with Ava and can't lose Ava like she just did the prior episode, like, she knows what that loss feels like now. And that wound is still fresh. And I think that that's what's producing this split-second reflex to derail the whole OCS mission and the pursuit of saving humanity by intervening to save Ava's life. And later in the season finale, Simon talked about a moment of selfishness that Ava has with Beatrice that's very integral to her character development. And I think this is Beatrice's moment here. This is her moment of selfishness with Ava, because even after she tackles Ava, like, Ava gets up and starts heading back into the fight, but Beatrice is the one that stops her, and she pleads her. She's like, "You got to get out of here." Like, it's like PTSD from the last mission. She's like, "You got to go. Like, you cannot die here," kind of thing. And every action onward for Beatrice is a product of this selfish moment that puts Ava's preservation above everything else.
Cause gay love feelings.
Yeah,
TM.
yeah, yeah, basically.
Feels.
So I think that
Mm-hmm.
this is a big defining. I think this is a big defining moment for Beatrice, and it's what makes her behavior in the next episode so different. It's this moment right here where she did not act logically at all and kind of makes up her mind about where her priorities really are.
Yeah. So Adriel is like creepy giggling about how he's winning and whatnot at this point because he's over the whole being stabbed in the carotid. And we get shots of Camilla and Bee fighting, and then we get one of the new nuns who's going fucking ham on all these bastards, and it's pretty fucking amazing. Guess what? It's Sister Dora, and I'm very much here for her.
Yes.
Because, woo!
Yes.
Child.
Them arms.
What in the whole grain biceps? Sweet Jesus. I will take a Sister Dora, please. Hydrate for Sister Dora. Woo! Anyway, coming back from that, here's our next dig at Michael from Beatrice, because she runs by and kind of collects him, and she's like, "Come on, pretty boy," because that's all he is.
Just anytime she can get in a dig, she will.
Yeah, I love it. I'm here for it. She just had to rescue the love of her life from his suicide bombing plan, and she's gonna be. Bee's gonna be. And then Beatrice looks back at Ava, who's staring. And guess what? Back at Jillian's, William comes back and shoots Mother Superior before she can detonate the bomb.
We skipped over it, but while all of that was happening, that clusterfuck, Mother Superior was like fighting off the goons in the mansion. And basically, the detonator gets crushed during this epic fight with her that's amazingly choreographed. And she ends up in the room with the Ark, which is where you just said, and has this whole conversation with Jillian, who's like, Well, you have to manually destroy it by touching.
Yes,
Like you have
blow
to go there and
yourself
destroy
up
it.
over there.
And so, yeah,
Oh.
Mother Superior was left like contemplating what that means because, like, again, being the fuse like Ava, it means I will die if I blow this thing
Mhm.
up. And so when we cut back, he shoots her before she can do it, basically.
And also, she shot him first through the eye socket. How is what?
I don't. What's with all the eye
I
gore?
I don't understand.
I
Like,
don't.
where is the bullet
I don't.
sitting?
I don't. I don't get it.
I don't
I
get
don't
it.
get it.
It's like one of those freak accidents where even though someone's got a knife through their brain hole, they still can function miraculously. Anyway, so he got shot through the eye by Mother Superior, and then he shoots Mother Superior before she can detonate and blow up the ark. This sucks real hard. This is not how we want to end this episode, but here we are.
No.
She's down for the count, and William and company like take the ark apart and start to cart it off. And then he walks up to Jillian, who's on the other side of the fucking bulletproof glass. Why was this necessary?
I don't know.
And he sticks his goddamn fingers in his vacant eye hole. His vacant, bloody eye hole. If I had to see it, you have to experience it with me. And then
Ew.
draws a cross in blood on the glass saying, "Welcome to the New Order." And I'm like, you need to, why? You're Rasputin
Therapy.
at this point. Someone needs to kill you for
Therapy.
real. Yeah.
For
I
real.
need therapy after seeing him stick his fingers in his eye socket.
It's a shame because prior to this, when he and his goons get to the mansion, he has one of my favorite lines where he says, "Get the ark, watch out for nuns,"
I
which
know
is
that was good.
which out of context is
Yeah.
hilarious.
Hilarious and accurate.
Yeah.
So then we've got back to the church. Ava screaming at Adriel, who is like, "Come on and join me, little girl." And then guess who appears before she can go over there and fuck around with Adriel? It's Lilith again. And then she gets carried off. Christian cuts the live feed, and then Adriel gloats and tells Rhea that she missed him again. That's pretty much it. Oh, Mother Superior's dead, by the way. My brain wanted to skip that. Mother Superior's dead.
Well, dying.
That bitch dead. All right.
I had a feeling the first time we watched this, if you saw our reaction videos, you know what I'm talking about. But the first time I watched this episode, I was like, she's going down because you don't anytime you have a character who doesn't get a bunch of screen time, suddenly get a bunch of screen time. I was like, she's going down. We started with the flashback. She had a lot of lines this episode. I'm like, something bad is happening to her. It's gonna happen. So this wasn't the ending any of us wanted or asked for. Whoever wrote this, how dare you?
Listen, I'm not here for it, but at least we get the next episode and things happen there. So
They
there's
sure
that. But for now, do you
yeah,
have
that is
anything else
episode.
before we
Hydrate. No, that's all I have for this episode. So, how many lemon drop shots for By Pan Jesus would you give?
I'm going to say 7, and here's my rationale for that.
Same.
Was there a lot of gayness? Not that much. I mean, there was a lot of adjacent gayness. I had to take points away for the kiss on the Pope's cheek.
I was just gonna say that was technically gay, but I didn't
Yeah.
ask for it.
Yeah.
Production.
No, thank you. I had to take points away for Adriel's pontification and fashion shit, and not hot priest in general.
Literally.
But there were a lot of great lines, and there was a lot of gay staring, and then there was Beatrice throwing everything that she knows about duty in her bones out the window to save Ava. So that's worth at least 7 shots right there.
Yep, I totally agree. Everything you just said, no notes. 7.
Done.
Done.
Boom.
And next time, good number, because next time we're going to talk about episode 7.
Episode 7.
All right. So until then, we'll see you next time, guys.
Bye.
Bye. And with that, we've been Big Gay Energy. If you like this episode, check out all our other episodes right here on YouTube. Please like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more amazing super gay content.
If you'd like to support us, check out our merch store or join our Patreon for early access to episodes, exclusive content, and so much more.
Until next time, stay safe and hydrate for lesbian Jesus.